down. Got a man, it's Darren.
Easily done because they throw a lot of misdirection at you. They try and fool you. They get your eyes in the wrong.
Third down. Here's Newton. Open man is Michael Thomas. At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. Their drive last time, it stalled out. They were forced to take the short field goal.
And the key phrase, you nailed it, forced to, because you know coaches look at these short field goals as a last resort, right? To them, that's the
Throw left side is complete on the
gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication, and as he tracked.
back to Taylor on first down. And he'll manage to pick up.
We'll get to the perimeter later. Let's face it, you could do worse than a 4-yard run on first down.
From the 38, Newton. That's complete to his tight end, Waller. They'll run on first down. It's Taylor. And strong running there. From the gun, it's Taylor. And tackled down after that play. On 2nd and 9, Newton looking left side and completing it to Thomas. And they do get him down, but not before he's in.
Line up, snap it, and fall in behind those guys into the end zone.
Again, it'll be Taylor. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Chicago.
Be at times, that's for sure. A lot of times the field goal feels like a disappointment. The touchdown, well, that tells you you're getting it done.
And he will get into the end zone again. It goes over to the other side.
He has a tough spot to be in this late in the game, and there's not a whole lot he can do there. And he winds up giving the ball away.
Now following the interception, here's Newton. Got his man around the end.
Turtle at this point, you just go ahead and play.
On 1st and 10, Newton. And inside the 20 before he's brought down.
Hey Patreon, once again guys, thank you for your support. I'm going to show you a three wide receiver doubles mini scheme, or actually mega scheme. I have 3 different formations I'm going to show you that essentially is going to be an offense that I'm going to run with the Steelers playbook. This is more pass orientated, less run orientated, like the Chicago Bears wide trips off scheme that I recently posted for you guys. But want to talk about this particular scheme. It's got some really good plays, and it's just really good pass oriented stuff. So the primary formation we're going to come out of the huddle is going to be the tight doubles, just because it's got the best plays. The second formation is going to be doubles, and the third formation is going to be the double Y off weak. So you'll be able to quickly audible into all of these plays to set this up. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and basically set up our audibles. We've got double stick, halfback quick base, the flood drive, and then a play action wide receiver cross. The first play I'm going to swap out is probably the best play in this entire scheme, and that is this play right here, which is the cross wheels. This gives us a really easy way, easy progressions and reads, and is very difficult to stop. We're going to leave the quick base as our other one. I considered leaving the flood drive, but my preference is to leave this play in for tight curl. Tight curl is just a better version of it, and it gives you an easy man beater with the tight end in a very unusual spot. Play action wide receiver cross. The crosser is really not that great, so I'm going to swap it out for this play, which is going to be Z spot. This is going to give us a mesh concept with a deep dig on the inside. Now, doubles we're going to swap out. We have double slants, inside zone, 4 verticals, play action post, and we're going to swap out 2 plays here. Double slants, we're going to swap this out for this particular play, which essentially is going to be the red zone scissors. I actually run it a little bit different now, and I think it's a little bit easier to make faster progressions. The 4 verticals is a play we're going to swap out for this dig pivot. This has got a nice little pivot play off to the left, and then you've got basically a way we're going to go and attack our opponent with a running back. Now the last formation is the doubles Y off, and we're going to leave the zone peak. This is going to be essentially have an outside zone. Inside zone split, I want to go and swap that out for basically this play, which essentially is going to be the RPO zone or alert bubble. It's still a split, but now you have throwing options. And then 4 verticals, I'm going to swap that out for double post. So you're going to have to swap out roughly about 7 plays for this scheme. Out of the huddle, we're going to call the following play, which essentially is going to be the halfback draw. This is good to get a feel for what type of defense your opponent's using. And it's a nice little running play that a lot of people have a hard time stopping. I'm going to go against random nickel defenses. I just think that's the most popular stuff. And then also what we're going to do is we're just going to respot the ball, leave it at the center of the field, back here, right here at this X, which is going to give us 15 yards at the 50-yard marker, 25 at the 40. All right, so once again, if you want to kind of get a feel for what type of defense your person's running, you can use the draw play. If he's using a lot of heavy man blitz or heavy man play or man blitzes, the draw is going to immediately get shot down. But if he's using a lot of zone plays, you'll get pretty effective runs with the zone. So that's going to kind of give you a tell on what type of defense he's running if you can't see his defensive plays. Now we're going to take a look at the cross wheel. And I like to set this up by actually taking my inside receiver Johnson and putting him in a whip, and then the crosser or the drag route by the tight end Ebron, I like to put him in a flat route. Now my progressions with this is going to be pretty much 3 spots. It's going to be Claiborne, Johnson, and then Schuster. I've got the wheel flat route with the running back on the backside, but I'm looking for basically this combination of routes right here off the left, and I'll show you my first read or my first progression with this play. This is going to be our primary play we're probably going to jump into as much as possible. And I'm going to watch these 2 guys right here. In particular, I'm going to watch this defender. If this defender bites down, typically that means it's going to be man coverage, and I'm going to be able to get this whip route. And you can see as I throw it, he comes up and becomes an instantaneous blocker for me against this guy. So that means I can actually turn it up for an easy 10 yards or so. Now, my next progression over that, especially if this all gets used away, is I've got this crosser on the back side that just kind of gets inside the coverage and goes across the field that I can throw over the top. So we're going to set this up like so, and here you go. So you can see just how that's just an easy progression. I probably could have thrown the wheel, but I don't want to do that. So we're going to set it up like so. And here, okay, so you can see the crosser by the wide receiver on the right side actually had a step on his defender. So that's one of the things. Okay, here's the thing you want to see too. See how the defender actually backs up? That's why you want to pop that wheel route right away, is that you want to force your opponent to put some type of hard coverage out here on the outside. So if I watch this guy first, and if he immediately steps backwards and giving me this fast pass lane, I'm releasing his ball, as you can see right here. Look, as soon as I see him back up, boom, ball is gone. So that's, 1 second, I'm throwing the ball, and you can see how he turns it up, and I'm picking up 5 or 6 yards right there. I don't mind picking up 5 or 6 yards with this play. It's not a problem at all. So we're gonna go set it up once again. Now here's your other route right in the middle. It's obviously if there's heavy blitzing, he's coming after. He's trying to use her with a whip route combination off the backside. You've got this nice crossing route, and this guy will always get leverage against his man coverage, and you can throw that really quick right over the middle of the field. So your opponent's going to have to use or way this concept or make some kind of changes on it, and then you've got this route right over here that you can hit. Another thing I want to show you too is you got a flat wheel route on the backside. So that's another area that you can actually go to, because this guy gets pulled out, and then you can hit the wheel route with the running back on the backside. So I love that play. That play is just it's a great money play. But I don't like to get myself in a situation where I can become predictable. So why I wanted to throw in another play right here, which is going to be the tight curl. Now, what I'm looking at is the tight end route, and what I want to do is I want to provide myself a sail concept right straight over here. So I'm going to streak this guy up. I could catch my opponent off guard and actually hit him for a one-play touchdown, but really what I'm looking to is this route right here by the tight end, and then make my progressions from there. So that was just a bad decision. I should have made a little bit quicker decision on that. Let's go back to again. Watch the tight end against man coverage. He kind of like gets in a good place right there. So that's just bad animations, bad route running. Gonna go ahead and do this again. All right, so this defense is just playing this play right. From what I've been seeing in the lab before, it's one of those things when you do random plays, you're gonna get yourself in these type of situations. Okay, so here's the sail concept on the backside. That was wide open. I'll show you why I was hesitating on this. This play's not working exactly the way I want to right now, but I'm watching this guy right here. I'm going to go ahead and throw this. Now, usually if an inside defender is defending this guy, like a lot of times he might get into the passing lane. Then I'm going to go and look to this route, but you can see how this guy actually came down and he played it a little bit. So I could have hit that route maybe for like a 5-yard. Okay, so actually you can see that's maybe about a 5-yard gainer. I could turn it up for maybe 7. But I was looking at this route trying to force this in. So my progression is the backside right here with this drag and corner concept. One of these guys are usually going to be cleared out because this streak route right here is going to be wide open, is going to pull up the defenders up top, clearing it out. So let's see if I can get the correct defense. Here we go. And a bad pass, but you could see how he actually had positioning on that from that guy. So let's just see if we can hit this. I'm having a hard time hitting this play, and it's like I almost attempted to take it out. Here we go. So that route against man coverages and a lot of zone coverages is always going to be money. And what's cool about this particular play is your opponent's going to be trying to defend off the left side. You sprinkle this in, especially if he goes into man coverage. And this is going to give you an opportunity to pick up, basically 10 yards a time with any kind of a man coverage off the backside. And then you got the little levels concept that you can actually go ahead and make as your first progression. Off to the left, I actually took a peek off to the tight end. I like to focus most of my progressions on one side of the field. You just find that I make my progressions a little bit faster. But you can obviously go ahead and focus on the concept off the left, but you've also got the stuff off the right. Now let's jump to the last play in this gun tights double formation, and it basically is this play Z spot. You can run this play stock if you want to. The problem with running it stock is that you've got a couple stop routes that essentially will be in user territory. So if you wanted to, you could take your inside. You could take your inside wide receiver and put him on a whip route. That will actually not put a guy in the area, and it'll give you a fast man read that you might be able to turn in some pretty big yards right there, and you're not going to have a defender over the top of that whip route that will actually go ahead and play that. So you do this, and you have your little spot route that you can hit underneath your opponent for a nice 5-yard gainer. But this is how I like to really run this. Is I want to go ahead and put a flat route with my slot receiver, and I'm going to do a slant route with Schuster. Now I'm like, okay, what's the best way to go ahead and read this? I actually look for the slant and the corner route by the tight end and make my progressions from there. Now the flat and the table route by the running backs are just pulling defenders down. I'm not even looking at them. I'm looking at the combination of the 3 routes with the slant, the corner, and then the inside dig route. And I'm seeing if I get leverage. Now, this route is going to be a pretty good route to actually throw against your opponent. So it's a great play by the defender right there. Bad throw by an old quarterback. So once again, we're going to take a look at that. And here you go. Basically, that's just another bad throw. So I'm not getting really good throwing animation right now with how I'm throwing this, but that was a right read. Here you go. So Okay, see, getting SWAT at the line of scrimmage, guys. You can see what's going on. Let me just show you what's going on. An instant replay. Even though I didn't get the pass off, I'm looking at this guy, this mesh concept right here. This is what I'm looking at right here, and I'm seeing what happens. If this guy gets a free release, I'm going to follow this. If this guy actually goes right down to this guy, I actually have the tight end that if you obviously low ball it towards the sideline, you're going to get an easy completion. I've also got this crossing route and dig route pulling the defender in and freezing him, and that's going to give me a pass play that I can hit over the middle of the field. Now, right, you can see right now my offensive line is getting chewed up by this guy, so that, you know, this is not great for the breakdown, but it also just shows you on how these route combinations are going to happen against pretty elite defenses. So here you go. So you could hit that route. I'm just going to possession catch this, so I don't drop it in this breakdown. But that's another way you can run this play. So it's going to give you a chance to hit your opponent off the sideline. So you can see here. Come on, get it? No. So the offensive line is just really not holding their blocks. I'm just doing this so you can see the team. I'm using the Steelers not because it's a good team. I'm using the Steelers just so you know what playbook I'm in. So you've also got this dig that you can hit too. So if he chases to each one of the sidelines or plays Mabel coverage, you can hit that. So really, really good. A couple of plays to use in this game. I'm going to go ahead and jump into play now to go and do that. Now let's go take a look at the audibles we're going to jump into. All right, so next audible is going to be red zone scissors. And typically I'd run this play stock or I put like a slant streak concept on it. But we're going to go ahead and run this a little bit different. I'm going to streak up my tight end. I'm going to go and take my outside receiver, which I typically never throw that post. Never throw it. I'm going to put him a smoke route. Now the reason I'm doing this is it's going to give me a fast read in whether I'm going to hit the running back route or if I'm going to check it over the middle or actually check it down to the wide receiver. So if the guys fall up, basically what I'll do is I will attack the running back route because that's the area I want to go with it. And if he falls down, if he doesn't fall down, I'm going to hit that. I've also got this route right over the middle with the inside. That's just another check down, especially if he's used in the middle of the field. You can actually see that. And backside one-on-one coverage, you've got a deep comeback route. So that's nice to have that in your. And if you got a guy that runs a lot of man coverages, he's using a lot of match coverages, you can throw that against in a seam. Let's see if we can get the over-the-top coverage. So you can see if it's over-the-top coverage takes away the running back, just check it down underneath and pick up your 5 or 6 yards with a little smoke route. So just really annoying to stop that type of stuff. Inside zone is inside zone. Nothing spectacular. Got a green box off to the left. You can cut that thing back in, pick up some pretty easy yards, or basically wait until your guard goes up to the next level in blocking. Let's go ahead and take a look at the dig pivot. This is a nice little pivot concept with a whip route and then a dig underneath it. And what I want to do is I want to go ahead and give myself one of those money concepts, which is the wheel out. I'm going to watch the dig pivot. And what's great about this play is that the pivot actually opens up that dig route over the top where you can get some big completion. And if the defenders float up, I can flip to the right side. So see how they float up? And you can basically look to that running back route as an area that you want to go to. So if the defenders float up, you can go to the next side. So I can wait, see how they float, and they just kind of float. So these routes are essentially going to get taken away. So I just immediately go off to the right side, and I can go ahead and make my progressions from there. So you can see how these guys are just are wide open. Now, look at the spacing right here. This guy actually just kind of like an outside release and then comes up. If he was doing a straight release going straight up, he's going to get a little bit different coverage against man coverage. So let's go ahead and play around with that a little bit. So we're going to go ahead and set it up like this. And threw that a little bit too early. Should have waited just a little bit more to get him some separation. So set this up once again. And see how like that the defenders had to go ahead and play a little bit tighter in. They weren't further out. So that's going to give you just a better passing lane if you streak that guy up. That's just an option. You don't have to do that. Because you've got, obviously, you've got the whip concept against man coverage. Here you go. So right here, just a huge play right over the middle of the field because of the defense. You're probably not going to see defenses like that ever when you're playing online. So here's you go 3 quick audibles. And had to read that quicker. So I'll show you why I froze. I had to get rid of the ball. I peeked. I was peeking off to the right. When I snapped the ball, I was looking over here. I saw man coverages. So the reason why you want to read the left side first before you go to the right side is that this is your man beater coverages. And this is your zone beater coverages on this side. So most players don't really do hybrid defenses and stuff like that. Basically, especially if you're blending a lot of man and zone coverages with each other. So when I peeked on this side, I saw man. All these routes essentially are locked up. So by the time I got to the back side, I could have thrown this already, but basically that timing was off because if I'd thrown it, he's hitting the sideline. And then when I came to this route, which is my next progression, coming back over, this guy comes down into yellow and is going to be ready to pass it away. So my right decision to get rid of it because you could see that progression was right there. Now, if I would have looked at this side of the field first, I would have seen man coverages. I can hit this route right away. And maybe actually gotten this route off quicker to get into completion area. But you can see how this guy got into the passing lane right away. So you want to look to that whip route right away with this. So that man coverage with a whole defense over the top with a robber is going to cause some problems. So you want to be conscious of that. So zone coverage. And there you go. So that's where you can hit that wheel that's going to come across. And let's just take a look at that one more time. Watching this guy, and you see how this guy kicks out. I know it's zone. Now I can come back to this route if I want to throw that, but I also know the wheel out route concept is wide open, and this guy actually just comes shooting over, but he actually has to play this defender, and I've already got basically cleared out. So if he chases this guy, I basically got this little check down that I can hit on the sideline and throw him and run him up for another 10 yards or so. So last play in the gun doubles is going to be a play action post. This is how I like to run this particular play. I like to go ahead and take my outside receiver and put him, instead of the in route, I want to do a deep comeback route. I'm going to drag up my tight end and I'm going to take my running back and put him in an in route. Now the crossing route is going to be the money route, but we're going to have a nice comeback route and a drag route. They're going to complement each other against man reads. And I've also got the out route with the running back, which is a nice little route. And it really is going to be the first place we're going to go to. I want to force my opponent to defend that quick out route. That's a high percentage pass. It's very hard to stop. And it's one of those routes that can be very, very difficult to stop. And if you do have a guy that actually tries to stop it, you've got this route right over the middle of the field. Now, there was a block shed. I had to get rid of that. I couldn't wait for that that route to clear up a little bit more for me. So we're going to set this up once again. Man coverage is off the backside. Once again, this is the thing that if your opponent's sleeping on, you want to go ahead and catch him. So if he mans up his guys or puts some type of man matching principle or coverage matching principles out there, that's going to be available for you. I don't look to the post. I've also got okay, that was all right. So I didn't set that play up correctly. I had to have a deep comeback route off to the right side. And that's why I got picked off. So that's why you want to make sure you double check your coverages. Make sure you have your place set up right with your route combinations, because that's going to give you basically your reads from there. So the tight end route I'm not necessarily going to look to. All it does is essentially pulls people down, and also that post route by Smith-Schuster, I'm not looking to that either. Oof. So I was trying to look at the higher level, and unfortunately, I had to wait for that stuff. You can't wait for that stuff. You got to look to the high percentage stuff. So this is not a play that you want to go and run against your opponent if it's the fourth and long situation. But you want to look to this running back route, because he's going to be someone who's going to pick up, you know, a good 10 yards for you underneath for an easy completion. It's a very high fast pass that you can use. And it kind of builds off the rest of the scheme. Let's see here, the crosser. Oh, God. I got thrown off, and then I didn't even get good separation with my wide receiver there. He was getting paced perfectly. So it looks like it's going to be a heavy blitz. It's not. Zone. And here you go. I can't say anymore. That was just a bad pass. Just an overthrown pass. So, you know, that's what happens when you play with bad teams in a practice mode. Here we go. Nobody comes out to the tight end. You can hit that. All right, so that's a nice little play. It stretches your opponent flats on both sides. You got a deep comeback route. You got a crossing route. That's a very hard play to stop. Let's take a look at the last formation. Gun doubles, Y off. The alerts double alert bubble, and then play action post and play action slide. I like the slide in the pass. I don't know if I necessarily like the setup. I'm going to show you. Here you got the play, which essentially is going to be the RPO zone peak, and really what it is just about running the ball to the outside. So if you got an opponent that really closes up his line, he doesn't spread up the line, you want to go ahead and throw that into your scheme. Conversely, what you can do is you can hit the split zone, and what you want to do is you want to watch the defender over Johnson and see if he bites in. If he just sits there, you want to run the ball, but if he bites in, you want to throw it. You're going to run it right there in that type of situation because he's going out to the bubble. So we're going to come back to that again. I like this down in the red zone. It just makes it harder for your opponent to do that. So we're going to watch the defender, see how he bites out. All right, so we're going to hit the bubble and pick up 5 or 6 yards for just a quick little flat play. If he sits, you don't do anything. You just run the ball. It's just your better option. So we're going to watch the defender over Johnson. He follows, so we're just going to run the ball. And you're automatically get the ball handed off to you, so you don't actually have to. It's not like a read option, so that's what's cool about this particular play. I like these plays. I like RPOs better than I like read options. So we're going to watch Johnson, see what happens to the defender. Defender bites in. You go ahead and hit the bubble and get 5 or 6 yards. So that's one of the reasons why I threw this play in. I think it's good to have that. Back to the RPO week. This is just a stretch play. I probably would not in this type of situation run this particular play, but it's a nice play to have to be able to run to the outside if he's bunching people up in the middle of the field. Let's take a look at post doubles. Okay, so this particular play I want to use similar concepts as the previous plays, but just put it on the opposite side. So I'm going to do an in route with a running back, and then I'm going to also do a Schuster on a deep comeback route. I'm going to watch the running back route underneath, and if it opens up, I'm going to throw that right away. That's my hot read. I've got 2 clear out routes and a crossing route by the tight end that I can look to. So that's another area that you can use against your opponent. That was a very heavy blitz. I don't know if I'm going to get the defense because this is all random defenses. But Johnson's route against certain types of coverages is going to be wide open over the top. So you got a deep comeback route. So this is going to give you, a 15-yard gainer off the sideline against man matching principles. And let's watch that safety over the top. Okay, so he's sitting. So we're going to go ahead and just go back to this deep comeback route. So this is what I'm taking a quick peek at. As I've got dual height safeties. They're staggered a little bit. I'm watching this guy. If he just sticks here, I know I can't hit this post. This post is going to be taken away. Just it's not a good read. Press coverage. Looks like it's cover 2. And here's your one-play touchdown opportunity that you can hit against your opponent. I kind of threw that in there. I forced it in there. I don't know in game when there's a lot of risk involved in it if I'd take it. But this is what I'm looking at. Basically, I've got outside leverage with my defensive backs. And you can see how this guy kind of pulls up. I probably got to hit the deep comeback route. This route was pretty much covered up. There's 2 defenders out there. But you can watch how this guy gets pulled over, and then this guy actually basically gets completely pulled over the top of the coverage, given a free passing lane, and that's where you can actually throw that ball. And if you get a move like this, you can get a one-play touchdown. So that's why I leave that play in. It gives me an opportunity for a one-play touchdown. Now, play action slide. I have a deep out route. I find that having a deep out route is nice to have in your back pocket. I'm going to go ahead and use basically, let's see here. I'm going to use a wheel, or I don't want to get tied in animation. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this running back and actually put him on an out route. And that gives you kind of like a fast read. Another thing you could do too to kind of beef up this play a little bit is you could take the running back and actually streak him up and take the outside tight end and put him on an out route. Now the reason that it gives me just a kind of a fast drop with the running back, and if it's man, if I see man after the running back, I can make my progressions on the other players quickly after that. So here you go. Set this up, zone. You're going to go get 5 or 6 yards with the running back, and your opponent might jump into man coverage. And if it's man coverage, you've got this route that's actually going to get some really good separation. And I'm not even taking a look at the crossing route that gets really good separation. So I just like the high percentage passes. I want to watch this guy. If I see man, I could have still thrown this, but it was a very heavy blitz. And you could see this guy's actually coming across the field. It must have been palms or cover force because these guys doubled this guy up. But watch this route right here. He gets up basically right here about 15 yards out, and there's a hard break to the sideline. I just once he makes his break, I throw the ball to the sideline. I'm going to get a nice little completion and pick up 20 yards with that. So that's a nice play to have, in hurry up situations where you need to pick up some yards. Conversely, you've got the outs on the backside, but here you go. Threw it. I should have low balled that particular play or just waited a little bit. All right, so look to Harris. Got rid of that because the pressure was coming in. The hot read with really heavy pressure is going to be this out with the tight end. So there you go. Like that's another route that's going to get very good separation. You just got to make sure that you wait or throw low ball it, so you don't get tied into the running safety taking that up. And I've been finding 5-yard outs have been like really good thing to mix into your scheme too. So that's something you want to do. So this is a mega scheme, guys. This is essentially how I'm going to run this particular play. Obviously you have the cross wheel, you got the halfback base, the tight end curl, Z spot. Conversely, you've got red zone scissors with that new setup, inside zone, the play action pivot dig. You got the play action post. Outside run with the zone peak, the zone alert bubble. You've got your bubble off to the right. Double post is another setup, and then a play action slide. This is going to be roughly about 17 plays that you can throw into your scheme to move the ball up and down the field, and it's going to get you down to the end zone. So once again, guys, thanks for your support. Until next time.